Hey, hello there friends. I welcome you all to my YouTube channel Cloud with Mohsin. Friends, today's topic of the discussion is about SSL, that is Secure Sockets Layer, and TLS, which stands for Transport Layer Security. Okay, so by the topic name itself you might have guessed it right. So we are going to discuss about the security aspects in the cloud. Okay, so before going to start with the discussion, let me take a moment to introduce myself. I am Mohsin Sheikh. I run this channel. I'm 2 times AWS Cloud certified and 2 times Microsoft Azure Cloud certified professional. In my overall experience of 15 to 16 years in IT, I had played various roles in different domains, which stands for in designing the operations, okay, architecting, lots of things I have covered so far. Okay, so that is about me, and let's get started with the discussion. Okay, so first thing first, let's discuss about what are the topics that we are going to see. First of all, I will cover what is SSL and what is TLS. Okay, just to give you an overview of what is SSL and TLS. Then we are going to see how SSL and TLS works. So basically, we will see in detail like how these SSL TLS protocols work. Then we'll talk about some of the common use cases, and we will wrap up this session with the conclusion. So this is a very quick and theoretical session. And see, it's not possible to cover each of the session with respect to the hands-on lab. There are some of the things that we need to cover and understand the theoretical aspects of that. I hope you got the point. Okay, so let's see an overview of what is SSL and what is TLS. So basically, SSL and TLS are cryptographic protocols which are designed to provide secure communication over a computer network. Basically, see, whenever you are transferring any data or any information over the network, so SSL and TLS will be widely required in order to protect that data, so that it's not getting altered during the transfer process. That is also known as encryption in transit. Okay, so there are two aspects: encryption in transit and encryption at rest. I am not going to cover it in deep. Maybe in another sessions I will discuss about what are the encryption in transit and encryption at rest. But to give you an idea, encryption in transit means whenever you are transferring your data. Okay, so when you do it in that way, like basically for encryption in transit, you will mainly do the ensure the SSL or TLS, like you will use the certificates. Okay, so in that case it will ensure that data is not tampered and it is secure and protected. So this is about encryption in transit. And with respect to encryption in transit, see, it's not possible like whenever you are transferring data using encryption in transit, like you'll encrypt it using some algorithm. So it's not necessary that it will also cover encryption at rest. Means, suppose you have transferred a file from your machine to a server. Okay, so when you secure it using SSL and TLS, so basically if you use HTTPS, to give you an example, rather than HTTP, okay, so HTTPS is more secure than HTTPS. Okay, so in that case, it's not necessary that when the data has been or your file is transferred at the server end, it will be fully secured. Okay, so once your file has been received at server entity, it may need to be processed by or needs to be decrypted. Okay, or needs to be processed. So from that point onwards, some other mechanism of security will be required. Okay, so hence security or of that will be taken care by encryption at rest. So encryption at rest means your data that has been stored in kind of say a S3 bucket or in your disk. In that case, you will ensure it using encryption at rest. In that case, you will go for KMS, that is key management services. So there are some other this is other topic of discussion. So SSL and TLS mainly are aligned with encryption in transit. Okay, so we'll first see what is SSL, that is Secure Sockets Layer. Starting with the introduction, So SSL is, it is a prior version of TLS. So TLS is the latest version, and earlier to introduction of TLS we use SSL mainly. Okay, it was originally developed by Netscape in mid of 1990s. So the purpose of that is to secure data transmitted over the internet by encrypting the data packets. Okay, but there were some loopholes of SSL. We'll see why a TLS was introduced. The functionality of SSL was, so SSL uses a combination of public key and symmetric key encryption to ensure data privacy and integrity. Okay, talking about versions, so SSL has gone through several versions, but SSL 3.0 was the latest version before it was transitioned to TLS due to security vulnerabilities. Okay, so it has some security vulnerabilities, hence it has to be transitioned to TLS. Yeah, now talking about TLS, that is transport layer security. This is an improved version of your SSL. Okay, and this was introduced because, as we seen in the previous slide, so with SSL there were some security vulnerabilities. Okay, so to identify or to harden the security, TLS was improved. It is an improved version and it was released in 1999. So it provides better security and efficiency than SSL. So purpose of TLS is like SSL. It ensures that data transmitted between two parties remains secure and private. Okay, with respect to functionality, TLS employs a more robust encryption algorithm and is designed to prevent eavesdropping, tampering and message forgery. So it means any kind of attempt to steal your data or make changes to your data will SSL will TLS will ensure that data remains unaltered, and it's designed to prevent all such the attempts to change or steal or delete your data. Okay, with respect to versions, so TLS has also, like SSL, like we seen SSL 3.0 was the last version before getting replaced by TLS. So with respect to TLS, so most widely TLS 1.2 and 1.3 were used in the modern applications. So as the vulnerable to, in order to secure it in a better way, the versions keep coming, but TLS 1.2 and 1.3 are being most widely used in the modern applications. Okay, so now let's talk about how SSL and TLS works. So first point is handshake process. So both SSL and TLS starts with a handshake process where the client and server authenticate each other and agree on the encryption methods and keys. So it is kind of client server architecture, like you will need to install the agents or SSL in this case SSL and TLS on both your client as well as your server. They should do the handshake, means they should communicate with each other and authenticate each other, and they will agree on encryption methods and key. So that will be the first step. The second step will be, once handshake has been completed, the encryption part starts from there. Okay, so once the handshake has been completed, all subsequent data exchange between the client and server is encrypted. Okay, and third step is about integrity. So SSL and TLS ensures that data sent and received is not altered during the transmission. Okay, now talking about some of the common uses and applications where SSL TLS are widely used. So most popular example is your web browsing. So as I had given in the earlier example, so encrypting HTTP traffic. So when you use HTTPS, so for example, if I use https.www.google.com, so this is it gives to have a more security with respect to your web transactions. Okay, basically whenever you are doing some financial transactions, and so it is always advisable that you should use HTTPS rather than HTTP, because HTTPS will give the encryption. So whatever your transaction is happening, it gets encrypted and no one will be able to identify what's going on. Okay, yeah, there are some there could be different cyber attackers keeps trying, but this is To give a secure transaction, it is advisable that you should HTTPS. We can also use the SSL TLS in email to secure email communications between your mail servers. Okay, suppose you want to transfer some highly confidential details or some secrets or some passwords or some information like that. It is always advisable, like these kind of details should not be shared in the text format or like that. But whenever if you are going to do that, so if we use SSL TLS, so those communications get secured. Okay, with respect to VoIP, that is voice over IP, so it encrypts the voice over IP communications when we use SSL and TLS. And VPN, as we all everyone know, and most of us are already might be using the VPN. So in order to secure the virtual private network connections as well, SSL and TLS are mainly used. So these are the main use cases of using SSL and TLS. Now we are at the end of this slide. So let's wrap up this session with the conclusions, whatever we learned today. So with respect to SSL and TLS, so both SSL and TLS are cryptographic protocols, and these are designed to provide secure communication over a computer network. So whenever you see the word SSL and TLS in your exam, you should note it that it is responsible or it is related to your encryption in transit. Okay, because in the transit only or the data transfer only, SSL and TLS certificates are mainly used. Overall, SSL and TLS are fundamental for maintaining security and privacy in online communications, ensuring that sensitive information like credit card details, personal data, and confidential documents are protected from unauthorized access. Okay, and we also discuss about what are the common use cases where SSL and TLS are mainly used are web browsing, emails, voice over IP, and VPN, etc. These are some of these common use cases where SSL TLS are mainly used. Okay, so friends, that's it for today. I hope you got some idea about what is SSL and TLS and the role it plays in the security areas. Okay, so thank you so much for your time, friends. I really appreciate your time, and please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel Cloud with Mohsin. And thank you. Take care. Bye bye.